Next is for you. Growing your practice, persuasion, selling, collaborative conversations. So this is what you did this month for the membership group. And this is, so wow, I loved hearing Steve's persuasion presentation this month. It really got me thinking about how to get the calls in the first place. I get most of my clients via referrals and occasional inquiries via Google and my website. I'd love to hear your ideas for getting more inquiries.
Well, watch the Growing Your Practice next month, because that's the theme. I know that's a cop-out answer, but yeah,
no, I think it's great.
Too big a question to like give it 2 minutes to. The thing is about, look, if you get most of your work by referrals, how many ways do you get referrals? Would be my first question. You know, how many different ways do you have in place to get referrals? And if you talk to most people, there may be 1 or 2 ways, if you're lucky. Yeah. Why don't you find 10 different ways to ask for referrals? And explore that, and make it very clear. You build your business based upon referrals. And if you have had an amazing experience, I'd really appreciate you letting other people know, and I'll give them the same service that you've experienced, and just being so upfront about that. A lot of people don't even do that. They don't even ask for the referral. As to Google, that's a completely different conversation. There's no way I can give a quick answer with that. You do have to be able to identify the people you want, understand what they're searching for, because one of the benefits of Google, by the way, if you're doing, whether it's doing Google ads or whether it's doing Google search, is they're looking for you. So they're already keen buyers, but you do have to do a lot of research to understand who the people are, what they're looking for, so that whatever campaigns you're putting together and your ads and the keywords you use are relevant to the searches that people are after. So, I can't give quick answers to those, but I'm glad you found it wow, because selling is an area where so many people shy away from, certainly in the coaching and the caring and sharing business. They're fearful of asking for the orders, fearful of being rejected, fearful of asking for the right prices. And I took people through, for those of you that aren't in the Secret Agents Change membership group, I took them through, it's called the collaborative conversation. So there are 4 different stages and 20 steps, different steps, that if you get them right, 99% of people are going to be, I'm in, if they're the right fit for you, by the way, if they're the right fit. So your closing rate, although it's not closing, you're not closing a sale, you're opening a relationship, is going to be borderline 100% when you follow this particular process. So, and by the way, those of you that in the membership group that haven't watched it yet, I've only done 1 of the 4 stages. And because it will be 2 years before we come round, will it be? So it'll be 6 months before we come back round to persuasion, another 6 months. So I'm not going to have you waiting 2 years before I finish off the loop, all right? So I'm going to be putting together a couple of extra additional recordings so we can finish off this section on persuasion and influence. So yes, you'll have the whole package soon, but not in your 2 years' time. I like to build up expectation, but not that much.
Not that much. I thought that was funny when you were doing the whole presentation and you said it's going to take 2 years, but I'll do something sooner.
But don't hold me to when. I'll fit it in.
You might have to wait a year, but it will be there.
So whoever asked the question, watch the recording next month, the 2nd Thursday of May. And I'll go with referrals. We'll be talking about referrals. How about that? Yeah.
That'll be very useful too. So here's another question for you about your presentation the other evening. Steve's selling training and the question about the one thing that we will do to increase sales conversations this month. I'm now going to use Steve's key question. Are you in a position to commit today and get the decision maker on the call sooner rather than later? It amazes me how many people fail to do that.
Yeah, totally. And you shouldn't be getting them on the call later at all. That shouldn't even happen. Should not happen at all.
Having future paced how this may change the dynamics of the interview, I'd love to hear your strategy for keeping everyone on board and inoculating against any objections. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you won't need to inoculate against any objections when you follow the process I'm taking you through. Okay. The only reason you'll get objections at the end of a call or at some point during a conversation is when you haven't addressed any of the issues. When you follow the process that I'm taking you through, if there is an issue, you'll find out about it earlier on and you'll be able to deal with it. The example being, you know, oh, I need to go away and talk to so-and-so about this. You know, I need to speak to somebody else just to get their approval. Well, that's talking to the decision maker. The person you're talking to isn't the decision maker. The decision maker is the person they're going to go and talk to. If that becomes an objection at the end of the call, you've missed it. You didn't address it earlier on. Yeah. So all the things that people talk about as objections, you know, time, cost, checking other people, all those things will be addressed by following the process. Yeah. And there's something else as well. I mean, a lot of salespeople, I think the statistics are most people give up after 2 objections from somebody. Yeah. And if you guys have been practicing your sleight of mouth patterns over time, you'll know how easy it is to have someone have an objection and play with it and flip it around and turn it back and do a reframe. And you'll be able to deal with 20 different objections at least and keep going and keep going and keep going. But I want you to be able to take the order without having to deal with the objections by taking people through a process. Okay. So yeah, whoever asked that question, when I do the other 3 videos, because I think it's going to be 3. But the reason it's going to be 3, it will be 4 in total, is because that whole subject alone is normally a 5-day training. Yeah, so we're talking about 30 plus hours of training. Yeah, so I'm trying to condense that into 4 recordings for you. Yeah. So we'll keep it super tight. And what I'm doing is pointing things out and saying, go away and practice this. Go away and practice this bit. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense to whoever asked that. Follow the process. You won't be having the objections.